Hey, so do you dissociate when interacting with people? Okay, so you completely disconnect from yourself, from your body, and it makes it impossible to connect with other people. Okay, so if that's something you experience, stick around. In this video, I'm gonna help you understand why that dissociation is happening. Why is it happening in the first place? And what you can do to overcome this issue. So let's talk about this now. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Rubin and I help individuals get relief from their social anxiety attacks. So the blank mind, the racing heart, the feeling like you can't breathe, the shaky and embarrassing voice. That's what this channel is all about. So if that's something you're dealing with, consider hitting that subscribe button, and there's a bell notification beside that. So make sure you hit that so you know when I release a new video. And then you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to connect with me on a more personal level. And so dissociation, what is dissociation? Essentially, it's a disconnection from yourself. It's a feeling like you're disconnected from your own body and within the social interaction. For example, if you're having a conversation with somebody, it'll feel like you're in the conversation, but you're not really in it, okay? You're actually on the outside and it feels like you're peering into it from the outside. This is the disconnection that happens, that you experience and you feel when you've dissociated. I used to be highly dissociative myself. So for example, in work meetings, if we started going around the room and I knew I was gonna be put on the spot to speak, I would dissociate. I would completely check out and leave my body. Okay, so even when they got around to me and I felt like I had to speak, the entire experience felt like I was actually floating above the experience. It was an out-of-body experience. Now, why does this dissociation happen? Okay, it's because of what I call a social flashback. Okay, so just like a war veteran, okay, for example, he might hear a loud noise in the middle of the street and all of a sudden he flashes back to these experiences he had in the war. He's completely regressed in time. He's no longer in the present moment. Okay, the same goes for you when you dissociate. Okay, so for example, when they're going around in that work meeting for me, or maybe you're in a conversation or you're in a group and you're feeling completely disconnected in the group. Okay, you are no longer in the present moment, and the reason that is because you first became overwhelmed by these old feelings and thoughts that were coming and flooding your entire experience, flooding your mind and your body, and it became too intense, too overwhelming that you had to check out of your body. It was too uncomfortable to be in there. Okay, and so going back to this concept, the social flashback, okay? So in that work meeting, when I was in the work meeting, what that was reminding my body of is when I was a young child on the soccer field and I used to get shamed, screamed at, humiliated in front of the group, being put on the spot, being embarrassed, being shamed, okay? Feeling like I can't get out of the situation and there's nowhere to run to. I cannot escape, okay? So that is the memory that I was flashing back to, okay? So for example, for you, it could be you're flashing back to those times that you were put on the spot to read in front of the class, put on the spot by teachers, bullying, humiliation, rejection. These are the different experiences that you're flashing back to and being taken out of the present moment in those interactions with people. And so your true self, who you truly are, think about it. When you ever experience that flow state, when your true personality comes out, when you're completely comfortable, okay, that aspect of you completely gets kicked out of your body and these old thoughts and feelings come flooding in. Now, I really want to ask you a very important question. I really want you to ponder this question, okay? In those social interactions, okay, those thoughts and feelings that are coming up, what is the emotional maturity of those thoughts and feelings, okay? All of the nervousness, the anxiousness, fearing the rejection, fearing the humiliation. Oh my God, I'm going to look so silly. They're going to reject me. They're going to think I'm dumb. I'm not going to look competent. These types of thoughts and feelings that are running through you, how old are they? What's the emotional age of them? And you will notice that when you ponder this, it's a little child, okay? It's a little child's feelings that lives within you, a teenager at best, okay? That is going to be the emotional maturity. So let's say you're in your 20s now, your 30s, okay? And you're going into a group and you're fearing all of this rejection, okay? That is not, say, the 30-year-old within you, okay? That is the little kid stuck in elementary school. That's the little kid inside you stuck in high school. Okay, so when those childlike thoughts and feelings come in, they completely overwhelm you. You check out of your body, you're in your head, and it's impossible. You're completely disconnected. You can't connect with the other person. What do you do about it here, okay? And there's a few different approaches here. So if you've ever worked with a therapist or a coach before, they might have taught you how to ground yourself, okay? One of these techniques, so for example, grounding can be a number of things, but one example of grounding is breathing techniques, okay? So box breathing, for example, where you would breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and you continue in this manner until those feelings go down and they subside, and then hopefully you get back into your body. But I want to show you why we recommend not doing this in trigger-free. So I have a diagram here, okay? And so what's going to be happening, okay, whenever you dissociate? Let me try and move around here a little bit. But whenever you dissociate, okay, ultimately what's going to be fueling that whole thing, and you're probably experienced this as well, is this intense constriction going on in your throat or up here, these butterflies that you feel in the stomach. That is an emotion, okay? It's gonna have an energetic component. It's gonna be fueling everything. We're gonna come back to that in just a bit, okay? But the reason that you don't want to just breathe and just try to ground yourself, although you can do that initially, the reason that you don't want to do that is because remember, those thoughts and feelings, they're coming from a young child inside you, okay? So that's all being fueled here by a child inside you. So if you could picture this child sitting across from you, you picture your 5-year-old, you know, as your 5-year-old self, if you can find that 5-year-old within you that experiences that complete terror or that overwhelming fear of rejection, humiliation, okay? If you can get a sense for that young child inside you, think about it this way. If this child shares with you how he's feeling, what he's feeling, the panic, the terror, everything, okay? Would you actually just tell him to breathe and calm down, okay? That is the messaging, that is the message that you're sending to this inner child if you go right to grounding and try to breathe your way to it, instead of acknowledging what those actual emotions are. And think about it this way, because really what it comes down to is establishing a relationship with that young kid inside you. There's actually many of these inner children inside you. But for simplicity's sake, you're trying to develop, cultivate, and maintain this relationship with your inner child moving forward. And think about it this way. If you had your best friend open up to you, go out for a coffee, your best friend comes up and he opens up to you about what he's dealing with in life, what he's feeling, okay? Would you tell him to just ground and breathe his way through it, okay? That is completely ignoring what your friend has to say. And here's the thing. Is he gonna wanna open up to you again? Absolutely not. Think about it. If you were on the flip side and you were trying to tell a friend of yours what you are feeling, panic, terror, I'm going through all of this stuff in life, or I got this situation come up, or this situation that just happened, okay? and he completely ignores what you're saying and tells you to just ground yourself, okay? That is gonna feel like he's completely dismissing your entire experience. He's invalidating what you're experiencing, feeling, and thinking as a human being. There's no way you're going to feel safe and trust that friend and open up to that friend again. Okay, and so this is the typical battle that happens. Okay, so when this young child, okay, all the butterflies in the stomach and the nervousness, when it comes up, coming from this young child, the typical response will be, because remember, you're going to be in your head. And what do you do in your head? You start to grasp for these you grasp for the breathing techniques, or you focus on the external thing. Say just the right thing. Don't make a mistake. And that comes from yet another child inside you that's trying to hide away what the little brother here. So think about this. It's like big brother, little brother. Big brother is trying to pretend like little brother is being a wuss, like he has no problem. Hide it away. Store it away so that we can be normal, so that we can come across as normal in this situation. But at the end of the day, this child or this teenager has no idea how to connect with people either. So there's a very, very fine balance here, and which is why you don't want to use these grounding techniques. Now, your number one resource to stop dissociating is your attention. Where you place your focus. And you probably heard this thing is you got to stay externally focused, okay? But if you stay externally focused with all of this young child's feelings running through you, you're going to distort that situation as dangerous even when it's not, okay? So you got to see the fine balance here. If you place your attention here in the head with these thoughts here, you're going to end up more self-conscious, okay? So what you want to do is place your attention on the emotion and the external situation at the same time. Because when you place your attention here on the emotion itself, on the butterflies of the stomach, it's like this young child in here starts to feel acknowledged, okay? What's the easiest way to connect with another human being? Is I feel what you feel. It's empathy. You get resonance with that other human being. Sometimes you don't even need to say words because that person truly feels like you get it through that resonance, okay? And that's what happens when you use your attention accordingly, okay? And you place it down on the energetic component, the emotion, okay? The energy and motion that's fueling all of those overwhelming thoughts and feelings. Okay, so to recap the process here, what you place your attention on, okay? Where you place your focus is king. If you place your focus up here in the mind, okay, all of the thoughts, okay, and you play into them, you're going to start the breathing techniques, the rocking on your feet and the grounding skills. Why? Because you want you want little brother to go away, okay? To help you understand, you're telling your friend who just opened up to you and is feeling all of these feelings that what he's feeling is not valid. Stop feeling so much, okay? Just breathe. You're making way too big of a deal out of this. And that is not the message that you want to send to yourself, okay? That is not how you build a relationship. That's actually being a bad friend, in my opinion. Okay, and don't place your attention only externally because you're going to be looking at it through the eyes of one of these inner children. Okay, it's going to distort the situation completely. Okay, place your attention on the emotion. It's going to put a cap on that emotion. It's like all of those thoughts and feelings, it loses that high intensity or that high charge, that energetic charge that's making them so intense. Why? Because it's like this. It's when you're with your friend and he tells you, I got to do this, I got to do that. And you ask him what he's feeling and he says, I'm absolutely terrified of this speech, okay? That's when he can finally relax and let go. He's completely in his head. And when he finally got in touch with what he was feeling through your assistance, then he feels better. Then he feels the relief. then this inner child, the feelings go down a bit. And when the feelings go down a bit, your authentic self can reoccupy the body. And it's more like what you're doing is you're sitting this little guy on your shoulder as you interact with that person. Because remember, neither of these inner children know how to connect with anybody. They're just kids, okay? They don't know how to create those authentic connections where you're speaking from the heart, okay? So don't speak from the head. Don't speak only through your feelings, okay? Sit them both on your shoulder and speak from the heart. You want a true, authentic heart-to-heart connection and interaction. Okay, and so what can happen if you feel numb and disconnected, and you've been disconnected from your emotions and your feelings for too long, you lose the ability to feel. You lose the ability to do this, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a link below the video so you can book a call with me to learn more how to work with me so we can work together to unlock all of those emotions so they're not so overwhelming and kicking your true personality out of your body and dissociating you, okay? Okay, so the link is below the video to book that call. If you liked the video, you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. The more you like and subscribe, the more we can get this video out to people who need the help. And here's some other videos you can check out next, okay? So thanks for staying with me. I'll see you in the next video, all right? Peace.